Why do you feel an inexplicable sense of isolation in today's hyper-connected world? The answer isn't in your modern environment, it is deeply buried within your ancient DNA, stretching across oceans. Standard history tells us that East and West evolved in complete isolation. But modern genetics reveals a shocking truth. A shared nomadic lineage connects Western seekers and the ancient people of Japan. This video is not a simple history lesson. It is a journey to uncover how two entirely different worlds faced the exact same human. Vulnerabilities, aging, loss, and the pain of existence. By rediscovering this forgotten mirror, you will unlock a profound, practical blueprint to navigate the quiet struggles of your own remaining life. Let us step beyond the textbook and look into the hidden blueprint of who you really are. Section 1. Ancient DNA reveals the shocking connection. Did you know that your ancestors might share a hidden bond with the samurai? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? For centuries, we believed that Japan developed in complete isolation from the Western world. We assumed their history was entirely separate from ours. But modern genetic science has just shattered that old myth. Recent DNA studies have analyzed bones from the Jomon, Yayoi, and Kofun periods. The results surprised researchers around the globe. The data reveals a deep, ancient connection to the Eurasian continent. Thousands of years ago, great migrations moved across the vast steppes. Some groups traveled west toward Europe, shaping the roots of Western nations. At the same time, other groups moved east, eventually crossing over into the Japanese archipelago. This means that beneath the surface, the ancient nomadic spirit is alive in both cultures. The very same bloodline that faced the harsh winters of Eurasia helped shape the foundations of early Japan. Think about your own roots for a moment. Do you think our deepest human traits are shaped by our genes or by the land we live on? Why do you think this connection was hidden for so long? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Section 2. The shared nomad legacy. Imagine a world with no borders, covered only by endless grass and a brutal sky. This was the Eurasian steppe thousands of years ago. Survival in this endless landscape was not a guarantee, it was a daily battle. To stay alive, the ancient nomads had to develop a specific type of mindset. They could not afford to be weak, and they could not afford to rely on illusions. They had to look at reality exactly as it was, with cold, clear eyes. When resources grew scarce or when the weather turned deadly, they had to move immediately. This constant movement created a very unique psychological strength. It taught them to embrace uncertainty rather than fear it. They learned that nothing in this life is permanent, and that attachment to one single place brings ruin. This exact same raw, unyielding survival instinct was carried eastward into the islands of Japan. As these ancient people settled into their new isolated home, they did not forget the lessons of the open plains. They brought with them a deep, quiet resilience. They understood that the world is inherently dangerous, and that true safety does not exist in external things. This shared legacy means that modern, Western anxiety and ancient Japanese wisdom actually began in the very same place. We both inherited a soul designed to survive the storm. Section 3. The Great Divergence. Two paths in a harsh world. So how did two cultures with the same ancient roots become so completely different? The answer lies in how they chose to face the brutal forces of nature. As the centuries passed, a great separation occurred. In the West, humans looked at the harsh environment and decided to fight back. They built massive stone cities, conquered wild landscapes, and tried to control the external world. To the Western mind, progress meant dominance, and security meant rewriting the rules of nature. But in the isolated islands of Japan, the ancient people took a completely different path. They quickly realized that you cannot defeat the mountains, the earthquakes, or the sudden typhoons. Fighting nature was a foolish illusion that would only lead to destruction. Instead of trying to control their environment, they chose to adapt to it. They focused their energy inward, mastering their own reactions rather than trying to change the world outside. This choice created a deep cultural divide. The West learned to seek power through conquest and visible strength. Japan learned to seek peace through quiet acceptance and internal discipline. Two distinct paths born from the very same fear of vulnerability. One chose to reshape the world, the other chose to reshape the self. Section 4. The raw reality of chasing control. Let us look closely at the modern Western world today. We have achieved incredible things through the power of conquest. We have smart technology, comfortable homes, and total control over our immediate surroundings. Yet beneath this beautiful surface, a quiet crisis is burning. Why are so many of us feeling deeply exhausted, anxious, and deeply empty inside? The truth is, we have fallen straight into a dangerous perfectionist trap. We desperately try to control every single outcome of our modern lives. We obsess over our careers, our social status, and our financial safety net. We even try to control time itself, fighting desperately against the natural process of aging. We buy products to hide our wrinkles and work endlessly to maintain our youth. But you cannot negotiate with reality, can you? Deep down, we know that this absolute control is just a fragile illusion. When a sudden crisis hits, like an unexpected illness, or a sudden job loss, our world completely shatters. We feel like helpless failures because we forgot how to handle vulnerability. We have traded our internal peace for an endless, unwinnable war against the natural flow of life. Is it truly your external environment that causes your daily stress? Or is it your desperate refusal to let go of control? Section 5. Entering the Japanese mind philosophy as a shield. How did the ancient Japanese survive this exact same existential dread without burning out? They did not look for a savior, and they did not try to cure the world. Instead, they weaponized philosophy to protect their inner peace. To the Japanese mind, the ultimate reality is that everything changes and nothing stays perfect. They called this fundamental truth Mujo, the profound law of impermanence. Think of the legendary samurai, Miyamoto Musashi. He spent his entire life facing the constant, brutal threat of sudden death. He did not pray for an easy life, nor did he pretend he was invincible. He survived by accepting his mortality completely. Before he even stepped onto the battlefield, he understood that when you stop resisting the possibility of defeat, you instantly eliminate your fear. This psychological shield allowed them to face absolute chaos with total, unshakable calmness. They learned to treat their own vulnerability not as a tragic defect, but as a natural law of the universe. When you realize that the world is built to break, you finally stop breaking yourself trying to fix it. This is the quiet power of the Japanese mind. It is a philosophy built not for comfort, but for absolute survival. Section 6. Shifting the lens. From conquest to acceptance. Let us place a great Western thinker next to a Japanese master. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the famous Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He ruled an empire, yet he constantly wrote in his journal about the heavy pain of human existence. He argued that we must use our logical minds to fight back against our destructive emotions. To the West, inner peace is often viewed as a fierce internal battle. It is a victory of human reason over the chaos of nature. Now look at the Japanese concept of Wabi Sabi. This unique mindset does not fight the cracks in a tea bowl. It highlights them with pure gold. It does not look at aging or decay as a tragic error to be fixed. Instead, it views the marks of time as the very definition of deep beauty. This is a radical shift from the Western urge to conquer and fix everything. Think about the objects in your own home, or even the wrinkles on your own face. In the West, we often try to hide the signs of aging and replace old things immediately. But what if those flaws are actually what make your life story meaningful? Why do you think modern Western society is so deeply terrified of visible aging and imperfection? I would love to read your honest thoughts in the comments. Section 7, the intellectual friction bridge or chasm. At this point, you might be feeling a strong sense of skepticism. It is a completely natural reaction. You might ask, how can these two worlds ever truly connect? The West is built on individualism, personal freedom, and the drive to change history. On the other hand, traditional Japan seems to value the collective group, strict harmony, and the quiet acceptance of fate. They look like complete opposites, don't they? It feels like an unbridgeable chasm between two different species of human mind. We often think that you must choose one path or the other. We assume that if you accept the flow of life, you must become passive and give up your personal ambition. We worry that if we let go of our fierce Western drive, we will lose our identity and become weak. This fear is exactly why we stay, trapped in our exhausting perfectionist routines. We protect our stress because we confuse anxiety with ambition. But this intellectual friction is based on a massive misunderstanding. The ancient Japanese masters were not passive monks who hid from reality. They were warriors, artists, and leaders who lived in a deeply violent and unstable world. They did not practice acceptance because they were weak. They practiced it because they discovered that true, absolute power begins only when you stop wasting your energy fighting the unchangeable. Section 8, the catharsis meeting at the edge of existence. Here is the ultimate realization. The moment where the heavy veil of illusion finally drops. When you strip away modern vanity, high social status, and the fragile pride of youth, a profound truth emerges. At the absolute edge of human existence, the Western seeker and the Japanese sage arrive at the exact same destination. They both discover that deep loneliness is not a personal failure. It is simply the baseline reality of being an individual human soul. When Marcus Aurelius sat in his military tent, staring into the dark night, he realized his massive empire could not cure his inner isolation. Thousands of miles away, a Japanese Zen master sitting in a silent mountain hut reached the very same conclusion. They both understood that human suffering does not come from your external environment. It comes entirely from the painful gap between the world you want and the world that actually exists. This realization brings a strange, beautiful sense of relief. It is an intellectual catharsis for the exhausted modern mind. You finally stop running from your deep vulnerability because you realize that every great human being in history walked this exact same lonely path. You are no longer broken, you are simply human, sharing a deep genetic and spiritual legacy that spans across centuries and oceans. Section 9, the golden difference fight versus flow. Instead of blending these two worlds into a superficial compromise, we must define their critical split. This is where we see the true, brilliant depth of both cultures. The Western mind finds its dignity in the struggle. It is the heroic act of fighting against limitations, demanding justice, and forcing the world to become better. It is a beautiful, tragic rebellion against the natural decline of all things. We must not look down on this fierce drive because it built our modern world. However, the Japanese mind offers an entirely different kind of profound grace. It does not waste its spirit in an unwinnable war against time or nature. Instead, it finds its dignity in the art of the flow. It is the choice to accept impermanence with a quiet, noble smile. When a flower fades or when youth slips away, the Japanese spirit does not scream in anger. It looks at the fading colors and finds a rare, deeper quality of beauty that only exists in the transition. This is the ultimate choice for your remaining life. You can continue to wage an exhausting, perfectionist war against the unstoppable changes of your reality. Or you can step into the profound grace of the Japanese mind, treating your own aging and limitations not as a defeat, but as a masterpiece in the making. One path is a defiant shield, the other is a fluid river. Both require absolute courage. Section 10. Conclusion, the blueprint for your remaining life. We have traveled across thousands of years, following the faint footprints of your ancient DNA. We have watched the great divergence of two powerful worlds, and we have seen them meet again at the edge of human existence. But now the historical journey is over. The camera turns away from the ancient empires, and it points directly at you. We must face the final quiet question. How will you choose to live the remaining chapters of your life story? We will not offer you easy answers or cheap temporary comfort. That would be an insult to your intelligence. The truth is, the modern world will continue to be chaotic, loud, and completely unpredictable. Your body will continue to age, and your external control will eventually slip away. But you are no longer a helpless victim of these natural changes. You now carry a powerful, forgotten mirror in your mind. You have the ancient nomad bloodline in your genes, and you have the deep, quiet grace of Mujo in your understanding. Armed with this shared legacy, you can finally choose to step off the exhausting perfectionist treadmill. You can stop breaking your own heart trying to force the world to be permanent. Take a deep breath and look at your reality with cold, clear, peaceful eyes. The storm will still come, but you are now the river that flows beautifully right through it.